One of the greatest acts of treachery against the truth has just happened, and not only is truth the victim, you are. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
You and I have just witnessed one of the greatest crimes against the security of the American people that has happened, in my opinion, in many years. I'm speaking specifically about the fact that the FBI has refused to release the 911 transcripts and the transcripts of the conversation between Omar Mateen, the Muslim terrorist who killed all those people in Orlando. They've refused to release the transcript, the full transcript of his conversations with law enforcement. Now, why am I saying that that's a breach of domestic security? Why am I saying that that's putting you at risk? It's really simple. Please hear me. He told what he was doing and why he was doing it. Do you understand? He explained to the law enforcement people why he was doing what he was doing. And the folks at the FBI and the folks in the White House are so determined to keep Islam in a positive light that they are actually refusing to release the transcripts. Now, before I go any further, let me explain. He's quoting hadith. I guarantee you, Omar Mateen is quoting hadith. The hadith are Muhammad's words and deeds that are not in the Quran. So I guarantee you what's happening is on the phone call, he's explaining Sharia law, he's quoting the Quran, he's quoting the hadith, he's explaining why he's doing what he's doing and that it is a service to Allah, that Allah demands it of him. And what the feds are saying is, oh my goodness, he's actually accurately quoting certain passages. And we can't put this out there. So they said, well, we're not going to give airtime to his ideology. Really? What if his ideology is the ideology of Muhammad? What if his ideology requires that Muslim mosques be profiled? That Muslims be profiled and that mosques be surveyed, that they're under surveillance. That's what we're dealing with here. We are being lied to by omission. If somebody commits a crime and they tell you this is why I'm committing it, and they also show you that the reason why they're committing it, other people might be about to do the same thing. But law enforcement say, we can't do that. We can't let people know because it's going to make a group of people look bad, or it's going to make people worried. It's going to make people upset. At that point, law enforcement is not protecting you. They're protecting potential criminals. They're protecting a group of people who have a 1,400-year history of committing acts of terror because Muhammad, the founder of Islam, ordered those acts of terror. I'm going to read to you these two hadith. Put them up on the screen, would you please? Now, these hadith are from Muhammad. The prophet, that means Muhammad, Allah bless him and give him peace, said, kill anyone who sodomizes and the one who lets it be done to him. That's the quote from Sharia law, all right? Here's one that's from Abu Dawud, one of the famous hadith. The prophet, peace be upon him, said, if you find anyone doing as Lot's people did, kill the one who does it and the one to whom it is done. This is a Sodom and Gomorrah reference. So these are both, there's many other passages, okay? There's many other phrases. These are both passages, words, commands from the lips of Muhammad himself. Now, President Obama, our Islamic advocate-in-chief, said, quote, over the coming days, we will uncover how and why this happened, and we will go wherever the facts lead us. Really, Mr. President? Really? What if the facts, what if the why that you spoke of, Mr. President, what if the why he did it leads right to the fount of Islamic terrorism. Muhammad's example. We are being lied to. We are being put in danger. And this president has chosen to put the image of Islam, which is a violent history, which has a violent image from a violent 1400-year history throughout the Middle East, throughout the world. He's choosing to put the image of Islam ahead of the safety of the American people, and he's ordering his law enforcement people in the FBI to not take into consideration religious motivation. That puts us all in danger. I'll be right back. I'm not going to let go of this. If you own a business and would like to advertise on our program, please contact us. We are currently seen on over 130 television stations from coast to coast. We air at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then all times are local. We have a lot of reach, friend, and this is an opportunity at a great price for you to get your product or your service in front of hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people. Also, if there's something that's important to you and you'd like to have a month where you just say thank you to this ministry or promote a certain ministry or a certain cause, contact us. Our rates are incredibly affordable. You'd be surprised. And you, again, can reach into hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of homes. We're currently seen possibly in over 30 million homes. So give us a call, give us an email, and we'll put a commercial up for you. I want you to picture an upside down world, all right? Picture it in ancient Ireland or in ancient India where there were untouchables, or in any number of scenarios in which Jews were persecuted in a pogrom. Good grief, it could be Holland during the Nazi occupation. I want you to picture an upside down world where you are following Jesus Christ. And you're just fixated on Matthew chapter 25, where Jesus said, I was hungry and you fed me. I was naked and you clothed me. So you're in India in some bygone era when the untouchables, the poorest of the poor, hence called untouchables, that it was actually against the law to take care of them in certain ways. Or it was against the law to feed Jews that were on the run in Holland. Pick a scenario. And now you're a devout Christian and you're reading this passage, Matthew 25, over and over. You've got it put on the walls of your home. And in come the bad guys, whoever the villains are in this story. And they see that you have these passages calling for the feeding of the poor. Do you think that the authorities at that point are going to take notice of you, that you're about to try and break the law? That you're about to try and feed these people who the law has said you may not feed? Of course they are. They're going to look at it, they're going to go, what are you planning on doing? Who are you planning on feeding? Where's the food? Where are you storing it? They're going to begin to interrogate you, right? Well, if you have people like Omar Mateen who are reading certain hadith, they're reading, let's just pull that one up again, okay? They're reading this over and over. The prophet, peace be upon him, said, if you find anyone doing as Lot's people did, kill the one who does it and the one to whom it is done. Sharia law, the prophet, Allah bless him and give him peace, said, kill the one who sodomizes and the one who lets it be done to him. So you've got that plastered all over the inside of your apartment. Those passages and other hadith passages calling for the murder. You've got the passages from the Quran that say, this is the punishment that shall happen to those who cause mischief and fitna and disorder in the land. They shall be murdered. Said what it says in the Quran. They shall be murdered. They'll have their hands and feet cut off. They'll be crucified. Now, if you had those all over your house, you're a Muslim, you've got them plastered on the wall, and in walks the FBI. Obama has said to them, ignore any religious profiling. Ignore any religious texts. Oh, is that from the Quran? Huh. We're not interested in that. Is that hadith? I've heard of hadith. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not allowed to investigate it. Anyway, so you're not planning on committing an act of terrorism, are you? Do you see the stupidity, the insanity? That this is actually criminal. It's a level of criminal betrayal. It's not just criminal neglect. Neglect means, I should have done it, but I probably didn't. No, betrayal is when you see where the facts are leading, like Obama. He sees where the facts are leading. The FBI knows, they had the tapes, people. If you just join me, the FBI has released partial transcripts of the discussions that law enforcement were having with Omar Mateen while he was inside for 3 hours killing people. Do you understand? 3 hours he was in there. He's telling them, he's quoting to them, he's quoting these passages or some other passages from the Hadith. He's quoting the Quran. And what he's doing is he's giving the information that would make someone go, we have to profile. We have to find out who's reading this material. You mean to tell me that Muhammad himself ordered his followers to kill homosexuals? Kill them? Yes, that's what these texts say. Well, then we've got to find out which Muslims are reading these texts. No. That would be religious profiling. We can't do that. Wait a minute. You mean Muhammad, the man of peace, said that we should kill homosexuals and kill Jews? Maybe he's not a man of peace. No. We don't want to look over here, people. Look over here. Look, we need to talk about gun control. We need to ban the wicked, mean-spirited AR-15. That gun is actually possessed. Do you understand that gun is responsible for more deaths than a pop gun and than a BB gun, and that the AR-15, it actually terrifies people? And if you're a journalist up in New York and you shoot it, you could have post-traumatic stress syndrome just from firing an AR-15. Look over here, people. Ignore Islam. Look at this shiny thing. Look. Look over here. Look over here, people. Look over here. Ignore Islamic terrorism. Look over here. Look over here. Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. Do you remember Colin Powell, former Secretary of State under George W. Bush? Probably remember that name, but here's a name you might not have heard before. I didn't. Lawrence Wilkerson. Lawrence Wilkerson was the chief of staff for Colin Powell. He was recently on Bill Maher. We're going to play a clip, and I want you to understand when I'm done. If you get to watch this, Mr. Wilkerson, you owe the American people an apology. You owe God Almighty an apology. But beyond that, you are a disgrace. You're talking about things you have no knowledge of whatsoever, and your arrogance puts people at risk because you think you're so smart that you can talk about things that you have no knowledge of. And you're really smarter than that. You know that to speak on something intelligently, you have to actually do a little research, okay? And clearly you didn't. Play the clip and people can see for themselves this level of idiocy.
I disagree with I think you're trying to attribute it to religion. That's like blaming Christianity for pedophile priests. You know, I don't blame Christianity for pedophile priests. I blame people.
It's connected. It's the justification.
I'm not sure that's true. I think it's a putrefaction. It's a corruption of the religion when people get a hold of it and do these sorts of things.
Okay. Well, let's look at why
that is a problem with religion.
ISIS.
Do you see what we're talking about? First of all, Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity, never gave instructions to people to molest children or to harm children. Au contraire. He said, if you harm a little child or if you make a little child stumble, read the different translations. He said it would be better for you to have a millstone tied around your neck and to be drowned in the sea. Okay? That's what Jesus feels about harming little children. But the founder of Islam said, if you find a homosexual, and I will read it again, Mr. Wilkerson, this what I'm about to show you, this is secretly hidden away in things that we call books. The prophet, peace be upon him, said, if you find anyone doing as Lot's people did, kill the one who does it and the one to whom it is done. And this is Sharia law, which I'm about to read. Right from the book, The Reliance of the Traveler. You can go to any bookstore and buy it, or you can order it online. The prophet, Allah bless him and give him peace, said, kill the one who sodomizes and the one who lets it be done to him. Mr. Wilkerson, this is not a putrefaction or whatever word that you coined there. This is not a corruption of Islam. It's Islam. Okay? Yes, you blame pedophile priests who molested children or pedophile pastors, whether they're in Arkansas or Boston. It doesn't matter. That's who you blame. You don't blame Christ or Christianity because Christianity clearly condemns this. And Jesus said, if you harm a little kid, you're better off dead. But Muhammad said, kill the homosexual. Muhammad said, kill any Jew that falls under your power. There's a long list of people who Muhammad ordered killed, okay? So Mr. Wilkerson, by trying to say, well, it looks to me like you're trying to blame the religion. Yeah, we are, Mr. Wilkerson. And Bill Maher, bless him, has got this one right. He's got it by the short hairs, okay? He's got it right. And I encourage you to go to the web and watch the entire interview. Look at some of his comments about Islam. At least he's really calling balls and strikes on this one, okay? And Mr. Wilkerson, this is why this is so upsetting. Listen to me. Please hear me, people. He's not some average person off the street. He's not supposed to be the victim of propaganda. He was the chief of staff for one of the most powerful people in the world. Now think about it. If Colin Powell, Secretary of State, or Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, or John Kerry has a chief of staff who's filtering what gets to the Secretary of State, which is what they do, okay? Whether you're Republican or Democrat, you're going to have a chief of staff, and that person is involved in filtering what you should see, what you should hear, what you should do, what you should not do. So this foolish man, this idiot, this educated idiot, is saying that you can't blame Islam. Now he's he's the chief of staff for one of the most powerful people in the world. And he's saying that you should not look at Islam. And Islam is the threat. Muhammad is the threat. So he's going to steer the Secretary of State into a gutter, into an irrelevant field where he will do no harm towards evil and no protection of good on this exact point. Meanwhile, he's going to bring up pedophile priests. Mr. Wilkerson, I look forward to your public apology. A press release will do, sir. A press release will do. I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free. All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it, so that we can stay in touch with you and, yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country, and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. We are in danger. We have been in danger for 1,400 years. We are Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, people who are atheists, agnostic, anyone who's not a Muslim, okay? If you study Muhammad's life, and then you study the first generation of Muslims and the first 100 years of Islam, you will see that Muhammad conquered the Arabian Peninsula in his lifetime with the sword, made everyone become a Muslim, then he died. And then almost everyone said, we're done with that, man, he's gone. And Abu Bakr, his first successor, his first caliph, his father-in-law and the daddy of Muhammad's child bride, Aisha, he became the leader and he said, whoa, you people all said you would follow Muhammad's religion, you're not leaving. And he launched the apostasy wars and brought all of Saudi Arabia back. It was Arabia at the time, the Arabian Peninsula. And then, within one generation, they had captured Jerusalem. They were fighting the Persians. They had had their first engagements with the Byzantine Empire. They had swept through they were knocking on the Copts door. They were fighting Coptic Christians. Within 100 years, they were into France, the Battle of Tours, France. In other words, friends, look, you have to read the historical records of Islam. You have to read the Hadith. You have to read the biographies on Muhammad's life to see what we're dealing with. We're in danger because we've always been in danger. Because Muhammad's mission was, which he believed Allah gave him, or at least that's what he said, was to convert everyone to Islam or enslave the Jews and the Christians, the people of the book, and they have to pay a tax, and they have certain rules that make them slaves. They can't preach the gospel publicly, can't have crucifixes on their church, can't ring bells. And then if you're not going to do that, if you're not a person of the book and not a Muslim, we're going to kill you. If you're an idolater, we're going to kill you. That's it. They said an Arab can have no option but to be a Muslim. An Arab can't even be a Christian. No, they can't pay the tax. They're dead. All right? This is Islam. This is Islam. So when you have somebody like Lawrence Wilkerson who doesn't know what he's talking about, and you have people in the press who fall for the bait of Obama, we're to blame for this. The intolerance against the lesbian, bisexual, transgender community, that's the real problem. Look at guns over here, that's the problem. Let's talk about gun control. When you have all this nonsense going on, and we don't see the threat that is right in front of us. But here's the problem, friend. What is it, 1% of the American population is Muslim? And most of them are not devout. Some of them believe in what's going on. They're rejoicing, all right? But most of them just want to be here. They're not praying 5 times a day. They'll eat a pork sandwich. They'll drink a beer, okay? But because we live here and we think these people, they're not that much of a threat, we're not thinking. We're not thinking about what the Christians have endured for 1,400 years in the Middle East, what they went through for hundreds of years in Spain, what they went through, the unthinkable, horrifying deeds in Greece during the 400-year occupation of Greece. If you or I were in those countries, who would we want to be our leader in a time of crisis to stand against Islam? Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? Let's just bring it all the way around back to American politics. Donald Trump is not a perfect candidate. I'll grant that, and I've got good friends that are saying they will never vote for Trump. I'm voting for Trump. I'm voting for him because the option is Hillary being president. I don't want to hear anything about, well, we've got third-party candidate options. Yes, you have third-party candidate options. I get that. But one of these two people is going to be president. And on the point of Islamic terrorism and ISIS alone, just that one point, who would you rather get the phone call at 2 in the morning? Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? Hillary Clinton already got the phone call. It was Benghazi, and Americans died, and she helped create a hotbed for Muslim terrorists. She wouldn't even call it Muslim terrorism. Donald Trump says he will obliterate ISIS, and he puts his finger on it. It's Muslim terrorism. Who do you want for president on this one point?